Gathered friends, listen again to our legend of the Bionicle. Hello everyone, it's Maisie, and here on Amaja-Nui Tales, we will be breaking down the different Toa teams that have sworn to protect the Matoran and the world. Today, we will be taking a look at the Toa team that stopped Makuta's control over the city island of Amaja-Nui and rescued the Matoran from the darkness, the Toa Metru. The Toa Metru was a group of 6 Toa led by the Toa of Fire Vakama. This Toa team fought numerous battles against Makuta Teridax to defend their city island of Amaja-Nui, as well as transported the sleeping Matoran to a new home. 1,000 years before the arrival of the Toa Mata, the island of Amaja-Nui had a shadow looming over it. Makuta Teridax had taken over the city and disguised himself as its ruler, Turaga Duma. The Morbazak plant ravaged the outskirts of the island, preventing Matoran from leaving. The former Toa protectors, the Toa Mangai, had disappeared, leaving only the Toa of Fire Likon behind. Mercenaries called Dark Hunters were moving into the city, seeking to capture Likon. With Teridax's plan falling into place, he chose to expedite it, commissioning a Toa Matoran that would later become Toa Vakama to create the Kanohi Vahi, the legendary Mask of Time. Seeing the grave state that the island was in, Likon stole 6 Toa stones to create new Toa. Likon then gave a Toa stone to a destined Matoran in each Metru district. Though Likon believed he was selecting these Matoran, the process was complicated by double trickery. Teridax believed he was influencing Likon to select a weak team, but all the while, the Great Spirit Mata-Nui was tricking Teridax into selecting the Matoran destined to become Toa. After Likon had been captured by the Dark Hunters, the 6 Matoran, with their Toa stones, traveled to the Great Temple and were transformed, becoming the Toa Metru. Vakama then received a vision, sending the Toa team on a quest to find the powerful Great Discs, starting with the Matoran who knew their locations. After facing many threats like the Morbazak, Dark Hunters, and the Vaki robot enforcers, the team succeeded in obtaining the 6 Great Discs. They traveled to the Great Furnace in Toa Metru and faced off with the Morbazak King Root that was residing there. A ferocious battle ensued against the plant, exhausting the Toa team's elemental powers. At a climactic moment, the Toa used the powers of the Great Discs to finally defeat the King Root. After the fight, the Toa Metru were alerted to a dangerous liquid protodermis leak in the archives of Onu Metru. There, they faced off with a shape-shifting Rahi named Kraka. Though they were temporarily captured, the Toa eventually overcame the Rahi's deception and defeated the creature. After their detour, the Toa went to the Colosseum to be honored as the new heroes of Amaja-Nui. Even though they presented the Great Discs as proof of their heroism, Turaga Duma instead tested them with a challenge. An obstacle course with difficult, ever-changing terrain. The Toa failed in this test, and Duma ordered for their arrest as imposters. Half of the team managed to escape. After facing the Dark Hunters and defeating a giant Rahi called the Tadarak, the 3 escapees journeyed to find Likon, hoping he was the heart of Amaja-Nui. They traveled to Po Metru and fought the Dark Hunters again before being saved by a Kikanalo stampede. Using Toa of Water no Kama's mask power, they communicated with the Kikanalo, discovered where Likon was imprisoned, and recruited them for the journey. Meanwhile, the 3 captured Toa were imprisoned nearby. After a strange Turaga tasked them with seemingly meaningless exercises in the prison, the 3 Toa were able to discover their mask powers and escape. The team then reunited in the tunnels. There, the Toa Metru found the real Turaga Duma and deduced the current ruler was an imposter. The strange Turaga also revealed himself to be Likon, who explained to them that the heart of Amaja-Nui was actually the Matoran. Seeing the grave danger the Matoran were in, the group raced to the Colosseum. They were too late. The entire population of Matoran had been trapped in Matoran spheres. It was then that the imposter revealed himself to be Makuta Teridax. The group quickly grabbed a transport containing 6 Matoran spheres and fled the city as the Great Cataclysm began. At the Great Barrier surrounding the city, pursued by Teridax, Toa of Akama forged the Mask of Time from the Great Discs. In the ensuing fight, the Toa lost control of the powerful mask and Lee Khan jumped, sacrificing himself to protect Vakama. After discovering his own mask power, Vakama tricked Teridax into crushing himself. The Toa Metru then sealed Teridax in a cage of protodermis, defeating him. As the Toa passed through the Great Barrier to find a new home for the Matoran, they found an Onu Matoran named Mavra, who had a fascination for an ancient undersea Rahi. Believing the Toa were sent to capture him, Mavra sent his robot Kralhi and sea creatures after them. During the battle, the sea creatures became enraged, and Mavra was washed away by the waves. The Toa Metru pressed on, and eventually arrived at a new island. They agreed to make this place the Matoran's new home. Later, they named the island Amaja-Nui, after the Great Spirit himself. While returning to Amaja-Nui to rescue the rest of the Matoran, the Toa navigated dark tunnels under the island and encountered a dangerous Rahi known as the Rahi Nui. The creature poisoned one of the Toa. The Toa Metru then met the predecessor of the Morbazak, the Karzani plant, which offered to cure the poisoned Toa in return for a sample of a mysterious substance called energized protodermis. The Toa agreed, and after acquiring the substance, exchanged it for the cure. The Karzani plant used the substance on itself to become more powerful, but was destroyed in the process. Grabbing pieces of the plant and some spare parts, the Toa Metru created a new transport and traveled back to Amaja-Nui. They found Amaja-Nui in ruins, infested by Rahi, including the spider-like Visorak in their webs. Despite this, they continued toward the Colosseum to rescue the Matoran, but were then captured by the Visorak and mutated into the Toa Hordika. Eventually, the Toa were able to defeat the Visorak and cure their mutations with the help of the legendary Rahi Kitongu. Obtaining several airships, the Toa Metru carried all of the sleeping Matoran to their new home. On the island of Amaja-Nui, the Toa Metru sacrificed their Toa power to awaken the sleeping Matoran and transformed into Turaga, fulfilling their Toa destiny. The Turaga and Matoran would not see Amaja-Nui for the next 1,000 years. Though the Toa Metru faced a horde of obstacles, self-doubt, treachery and trickery, and deadly opponents, they fulfilled their duty. They rescued the Matoran, the true heart of Amaja-Nui, from Makuta Teridax, and ultimately shaped the destinies of the Toa that followed.
If you'd like to see more tales, check out our channel and our videos. Thank you so much for watching. This is the way of the Bionicle.